Kinda simple, kinda wishful about things. And you're kinda simple, but like a pistol, you fire. Sometimes you get under my skin like a lover, and sometimes you don't wanna come back 'cause you'd rather stay out with another. Talking to strangers and make out spontaneously. Now I'm so tired of hearing all your stories about the drunk nights, bragging in the glory. You're such a nice guy when you're not just talking about.
Have you ever said you're not going to do something, then you went ahead and did it anyway, but then you feel so much better after you were done? I don't know if you guys know this, but I do not like deep cleaning. After I had the baby about 8 weeks ago, I said I was going to hire someone to come and do all of the deep cleaning for me. That ended up never happening. So I found a small burst of energy and got started one day and completely deep cleaned the whole house. So just like you are probably so busy in your life, I am too, and I don't have several hours to go through and scrub this house from top to bottom. So my strategy was to break each room down into one day. Over the course of a week, I finally completed just about every single room, and this video is broken up into 2 videos because it honestly took that long. So in today's video, the areas that we're focusing on are the living room, the couch, the kitchen cabinets, the upstairs playroom, as you can see here, and the girls' bedroom. And in part 2, we'll focus on the bathrooms, the bedroom, and the laundry room. I'll talk about some tips to get motivated when you're not feeling so motivated. So just grab a cup of coffee or 2 with me and let's get started.
Spinning like a broken record. For a player, you don't know that many major chords. We hang out and then you get bored, and you leave me here like I'm your landlord. You come back and say I'm sorry, boo, and I know you never mean it, gets you in though.
So I've always said to start with the easiest area first, because once you get started with that typically gives you the momentum to move on to the next space. But sometimes I do recommend starting with a harder area, or in this case, the couch cushions, because they are going to take the longest to wash and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and get those going. And then before I even pick up anything, I am going to head straight to the couch. Now, that is not wine, by the way. That is popsicle from one of my kids. So I was just hoping and praying that this stain remover stuff, it's called the stain treater. And I'll just go ahead and cut to the chase. It did get all the stains out, thankfully. Speaking of stains, I also had a coffee stain on my shirt that I didn't even realize until I'm looking back on this video.
I sure know how to set a girl on fire. I'm not calling you a liar. Honestly, I'm just so tired. I don't need you here to feel good. No, I'm not angry. I got better things to do.
All right, so the couch isn't that bad. It could definitely be worse, so we'll just go with it. As far as cleaning goes, vacuuming is probably my favorite thing about cleaning, and it's even more exciting because I got the new Tenco Pure One S15 Pet Vacuum. It has a freestand charging base, so you don't have to nail anything to the wall, and it also has multiple attachments like the 2-in-1 dusting brush, the mini power brush, and the crevice tool. This way you can use it in many ways, and I am going to start off by using it on the sofa. So just by one click, you can add the attachment and then start vacuuming. So once I'm done vacuuming up the couch, then I'll show you guys how I use it on the floor. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I am a big Tenco fan. I have several of their products, and have been using their products consistently over the last 2 years. This S15 model also has a smart eye loop, so once you see it start to turn red, then that means that there is debris detected, so the suction will pick up to clear that debris, and then once the whole loop turns blue, that means that that section is cleaned. Here I'm going to turn it into high power mode, and it also has a long-lasting suction power. It powerfully separates air and dust to avoid pre-filler clogging or suction loss. So it makes sure that you get a strong and fade-free suction power for a long time. So we have a black lab, and she tends to shed a lot. So as you can see here, she has black hair all over the light couch. So it is important for us to get a high quality vacuum that has awesome suction power. I am going to finish vacuuming up the couch and using this vacuum throughout the video, but I wanted to quickly touch upon that it also has a new brush design. So the V-shaped bristles and dual combo design means that the hair gets lifted and vacuumed without tangling around the roller brush. It's simple, effective, and clever. It's also super easy to clean up. So with just one touch trigger dustpan clean, the debris and hair go directly into the dustpan without touching. So you're not trying to go in and pull all of the hair out. So I'm going to go back over to vacuuming the couch and also use some of the other attachments, but be sure to click the link down in my description box so that you can get the Tenco Pure One S15 pet vacuum.
There is only one of you, only one of me. There's a million of those who won't let us be. But they're not gonna see me bleed, 'cause baby, I got you.
Here I switched the attachments, and I am using the crevice tool to get into the deep corners of the couch. I'm not going to move the couch around and clean underneath the couch until probably Christmas, when we move the couch back in order to set up our Christmas tree. But here is what I mean about like the dog hair, because our dog lays against the couch, so I could vacuum this couch every single day and there would still be dog hair on it. But she's such a good dog that it doesn't matter. But if you are an animal person, leave me a comment and let me know, do you prefer dogs, cats, or both? Or do you have any type of like non-traditional pet? I'm sure we would all be interested to know what you have.
They always bring all the lonely, but with you here, nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feelings, not anymore. So let's show them that love is pure, no matter who.
Next, I'm going to pick up everything that was under the coffee table, which is a lot of toothpicks. I think Sailor got into one of our drawers with like our bag of toothpicks and had them all over the coffee table, and I'm sure that's probably where they all came from. So I'm using the Tenco, the floor device, and just kind of putting it in high power mode. So I'm going to vacuum up the rug, and like I mentioned, you can see the eye loop ring where it detects when it's picking up some type of debris.
They always bring all the lonely, but with you here, nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you, not afraid to love not afraid to love. I'm gonna go where my heart is. From now on, I'm being honest. I'm gonna show that I got this love. 'Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you.
Next, I'm going to be moving on to cleaning up the kitchen. And I saw this technique from Clutterbug, so if you don't follow her, then you probably should. She gives some awesome decluttering and organizing tips. But one thing she suggests is to always clear off all of your flat surfaces first. So any of your countertops, take everything back where it needs to go, and then work on the next step, like the dishes. So say, for example, I cleaned off all of the countertops, and I won't go and do the dishes until I've completed that task. I realized that in my cleaning routine, I kind of already did that, like work on all of the surfaces first, but kind of after watching her strategy, then now I'm definitely more conscious about doing it, and it really helps you not get distracted by all of the other, things that need to get done.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Oh, so give me your all.
So I do these cleaning motivation videos, as you know, but what does cleaning motivation really mean for me? Well, for me, cleaning has always been a struggle. I know that it's not that way for everyone. Sometimes I feel like it's either a struggle for you to get up and get started, or you absolutely love it, enjoy it, and, love the clean feeling afterwards. But sometimes we know what the feeling afterwards feels like, and it's awesome, but it still doesn't motivate us enough to get started. So I like to think of cleaning as an organizing, like not a one size fits all. Just like with dieting and exercising, right? Like some people prefer keto, some people prefer Weight Watchers. You can both, options, you can lose weight on it, but some things just don't work for some people. And others do. And I know that like some people come on here and want a absolute solution, but I think that the solution is in you testing different ways and finding the way that you will stick to. Like if it doesn't make sense for you to have 20 bins in your pantry to organize it, then don't do it that way. But I think one of the issues is that people don't even get far enough to try something different. But if everything works great for you, then there's really no need to. But I'm talking about the people who are struggling to try to start in one area. So next, maybe you figured out there's a problem and you do want to change something. You do want to declutter that closet. You do want to better organize your pantry, but you just are overwhelmed and don't know where to start. Or even getting started just deep cleaning your house like I am. This was a common struggle and common feedback I received is that, feelings of overwhelm and not knowing where to start. So before I would, in some scenarios, say start with the smallest task first, like when you're trying to clean something. But I also heard some good advice about not starting with the easiest tasks first, because what happens when you do that is that you only do the easiest task, and then the hard task never gets done because you run out of time. So like, let's say for example, you're starting to deep clean your home and you start with the dishes because that's an easy no-brainer, and then you do the laundry because that's another easy no-brainer, and then you check your phone, you check your email, you do this and that, and then all these easy tasks get done, but none of your hard tasks even get started. So of course you're not going to go in and start, the massive declutter when you have dishes in the sink, because you're starting with the dishes, and then, the hard tasks never get done. So in some cases, I would suggest start with the hardest task first, because the easiest task can get done later. Next, break your hard task into smaller sections. This makes it look less overwhelming. And don't try and get it done all in one day, because you will set yourself up for failure. and then be discouraged in yourself when you try and start again. So even when I'm doing something as simple as deep cleaning my home, I know that I'm not going to do it all in one day. I'm going to do one area a day and hope that I can, finish that one area in the amount of time that I have. That way I'm not burnt out. And lastly, try to pair that daunting task with something enjoyable. You probably already do this and don't know this, like cleaning your house and listening to music, or cleaning your house and listening to a podcast or a YouTube video. Also, if you're waiting for this motivational cloud to just start raining on you, then it's likely not going to happen. So try and use Mel Robbins' strategy. Take the emotion out of it. Count down from 5. Don't give yourself time to hesitate and make excuses. Just go. Just start doing it. So I've been chatting a lot, but I want to challenge you and say, what is the one thing on your priority list that is challenging for you, but you need to get done before you go to bed tonight? If you can do that right now, then do it.
Another side of you trying to break through, able to tell the truth. No one else can see you like I do. All you ever do is say how far you wanna go. Baby, I can tell it's just for show. Every line designed to let me know. You know you're already accepted. To me you're always picture perfect. You think you're gonna be rejected. Just say you're in love, 'cause so am I. So am I.
All right, so I'm using this, it's called Therapy Clean Stainless Steel Cleaner. I got it off of Amazon and I really like it because it doesn't leave any streaks or anything like that on the stainless steel. But this reminded me of kind of a funny story. So we have a Samsung refrigerator, and I know like 3 or 4 people with Samsung refrigerators where their ice maker went out. So our ice maker went out. I mean, it used to go in and out all the time where it would stop making ice, but then it probably hasn't worked in over a year. So we've been using like the little cube trays, and they are just like a pain to use and fill up and whatever. So I ended up ordering one of the counter nugget ice makers off of Amazon. I tried to research and find a really good ice maker that was easy to use. And finally, after a year, I bought one, and we got it and we loved it. And that's one of the reasons why I did like a recent kitchen reorganization video, because so that we could make room to put that counter nugget ice maker over there. So anyway, we unplug like the water so we can connect the water to it so that it would make ice automatically, and absolutely loved it. And then I want to say like 25 days in, it stopped working. And I'm like, why do we have this? Like, are we cursed with ice makers? But anyway, it stopped working. It just kept saying like it needed to add water. Even with the water full, with the water line hooked up to it, I don't know. Chris tried everything, and it stopped making ice. But then all of a sudden, our refrigerator ice maker started making ice again. So we were just like, okay, well, good thing we have a little bit of ice for now, so we don't have to go back to those cube trays. Well, like I want to say about a week later, that ice maker stopped working again. So luckily they refund, it was under warranty. So they refunded me my money back for the ice maker, but now I don't know whether to get the same ice maker because, we did really like it. Maybe it was just the one we got was bad, or if this is going to be an ongoing issue. So that's my dilemma. What would you guys do? Would you just buy a new ice maker, or would you buy the same one? Or if you have a nugget ice maker and you like it, let me know which one you have. But next, I'm cleaning off the top of these lights, which tend to get pretty dusty. I do have a duster and I cannot find it. So I'm just using an e-cloth, and with the e-cloths, you just wet them, and then it's supposed to kill 99% of the germs, but I just really need it to get all of the dust off.
Kiss still burning, didn't know I missed this passion in life. Now I'm addicted somehow. Let me tell you what is up with your smile? It's impossible, not melting, irresistible. When I look through your eyes, not even sky's the limit. I used to be satisfied, getting over this surface. Now I just can't get enough. You make me feel good like no other. I just want everyone to see what I've discovered. And when I'm with you, I go higher.
Putting the cushion covers back on the couch cushions is a workout in itself, and this cushion is totally broken. It's taped back together. We just put the cushion cover over it, but I am happy to say that all of the stains are off of the couch, which is such a relief.
Live and cry to appreciate life and what you give is worth it. When you're holding me, when you hold me so close, I'm bothering under your skin. Wanna leave a mark so that I can be sure that you remember what's been. I used to be satisfied, stayed over this surface. Now I just can't get enough. You make me feel good like no other. I just want everyone to see what I've discovered. Young illusion. Young illusion. Let me tell you what
Okay, so I know that the couches are already clean, so there's really no sense in vacuuming them, but there's just something about having, the vacuum lines on them that puts the cherry on top to prove that it's clean.
Now I wanna embrace life. You and I side by side. Knowing there is more in life.
And I'm almost done for the day. I'm just going to complete the downstairs main area using my Tinco wet vac. So, floors are typically the last thing you clean, right? Like you start from the counters, get everything done and cleaned, and then finally you just clean what's left on the floor. But the problem is because it's the last thing you clean, or at least for me, I question, I'm like, do I really need to mop? Can I just put my robot vacuum on and just be done with it? But as much as I love robot vacuums, sometimes when I'm home, they tend to be loud. So I will mainly turn them on when we're away. And then use this when I'm completing the cleaning cycle.
It's easy to speak out about the way I live, but it's a 24-karat dream. No supermodel in my dirty jeans, but in my 24 inches heels. I'm not pretending, I'm born like this, a game for the reckless. It's so extreme and I don't really care, I don't really care, yeah. No, I don't really care, I don't really care, yeah. They're calling me a mad woman, mad woman, mad woman. Calling me a mad woman, mad woman. No, I don't really care, I don't really care, yeah. 'Cause boy, it's none of your business if I'm a mad woman.
So the next day or so, my only focus for this day was to get the upstairs cleaned. We recently redid the girls' bedroom and added bunk beds and had them share this room about 2 months ago, right before we had Rye, my newborn. Well, he just turned 2 months. So I had not been upstairs to really focus on cleaning this space in a few months now. So, right, with 2 toddlers and a newborn, I mean, it just wasn't the top of my priorities. And I know it never fails. I always get the comment by at least one person, my kids should be picking up their own spaces. And I just want to say that they do, but I have a 3 and 4-year-old. So in a perfect world, they would put everything back exactly where I organized it. They would vacuum for me. They would pick up all their toys. They would only play with one toy at a time. Put the Play-Doh back, make their own beds. Yes, I would love for my 3 and 4-year-old to be perfect, but they're not. I just show real life, and this is a part of it. I don't follow them around and make sure that they picked up every single little toy that they dropped. And their interpretation of clean is different from mine, but if you do it differently, that's amazing. This is just, the way that I do it. But at least once a month I come up here and get everything picked up and cleaned accordingly. I'm going to start by washing all the sheets, getting all the stuffed animals picked up, and then moving on to the playroom, picking up that space, and then vacuuming everything.
Sorry, I don't compromise. Mad woman. Keep calling me a mad woman. Boy, it's none of your business if I'm a mad woman. To keep it nice and clean, not freak out and cause a scene. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Not sure who I really am, just be cute and super bland. I try to hold it together, keep it together. Been playing it down.
So in the next couple of weeks, I plan to declutter this space a little bit more, rearrange the playroom, get rid of a lot of extra stuff, and try to slowly minimize as best I can. But they have like a book exchange at the girls' school, so I am trying to pick out some books that I'm going to donate to the school and already starting the process. But I will say decluttering videos are something that was requested, but those are the hardest for me to physically do and also make. I will just open up and be honest and say that yes, I do get insecure about my space. I never did before until I started posting videos, and then I would get negative feedback and it would make me question how much I would even show. But there are videos where people are already professionals and their spaces are nice and perfect, and they'll show you how to, keep that space that way, but they never showed you the beginning process. So, what I've come to realize is that mine is just real life. Like, I'm showing you that I struggle, that I haven't kept up with clutter. It's never been a huge priority for me because I, work full time. I have toddlers. We are very busy people, and that just isn't like my first priority, right? I understand the benefits of it, but it also is a lot of work to upkeep. So after doing it, I obviously do not regret it. It does feel great to declutter my spaces. But what I can tell is that people want me to go from like 100 to 0 within one video. And after doing lots of decluttering, that I don't think that's realistic for everyone, right? If you have a lot of stuff and you have different struggles of the way you hold on to stuff, the sentimental stuff, the stuff you spent a lot of money on. It's not just you can go from 100 to 0 in a day, right? I think that it's a gradual process. And although it looks nicer on video when you have all this stuff and it's just all cleared out, I think that it's a process. I think that once you clean up a little bit, you start seeing, oh yeah, it is beneficial. It is nice not having all of this stuff. And most of the time you don't even remember or think about it. Then you go back and you clear out a little bit more. That's more realistic for me, and I think most people, than to just like go in and say, you didn't declutter enough. You didn't get rid of enough stuff. You didn't do all this stuff. And it's like, well, I'm a real person and I'm being as realistic as possible with the process. But even after you start decluttering, then it has to become a lifestyle change. Because it's not only about you, it's about everyone else living in your house. Then you have to think about the way that you buy things differently. You have to think about the way that you store your stuff differently. And maybe for some people, this is very easy, but for some people, it's not. So once I started my decluttering process in several different rooms, I definitely see the benefit. I don't want to go back to the way it was before. So, trying to maintain the space is the next step, and also getting like Chris, my husband, on board with also getting rid of stuff and stop holding on to stuff, stop taking free stuff. Like, just for example, we go somewhere and they give you a free cup and he's like, oh, we need to take 3 of them. I'm like, no, we don't need 3 free cups. I don't care if they're free. We do not need them. So it's also a mindset shift, right? So I feel like the decluttering process is, a big step, but it's definitely doable. And I'm just, in the process of, bettering myself with each and every step of the process. But yeah, if you're already well onto your journey and you are way ahead of the game, then congratulations to you. I know that you are definitely seeing a lot of the benefits, but just hang in there for some of us who are, doing it slow and steady.
Aren't you tired of the drama? You use your words like they are knives. I don't need that type of drama and trying to be tough all the damn time. You try to make yourself feel better by taking me down. Once I fell, but now I'm strong. I'm ready for the rematch. Shoot me down, don't you know I get up? Yeah, baby, I will fight. No, there ain't nothing stopping me. I'm bulletproof, I won't fall. I'm bulletproof, go on and shoot me down. I will always get up again. You're looking at me so cold. Get over yourself, are you for real? Why are you looking at me so cold? One's love is now we're enemies. You try to make yourself feel better by taking me down. Once I fell, but now I'm strong. I'm ready for the rematch. Shoot me down, don't you know I get up? Yeah, baby, I will fight. No, there ain't nothing stopping me. I'm bulletproof, I won't fall. I'm bulletproof, go on and shoot me down. I will always get up again.
But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that you got some type of inspiration or motivation from it. But I do want to say that it is to be continued. Stay tuned next week for part 2 of my deep clean, and make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out.
Down, I